Hey everybody, happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. It's Trevor, your metabolic health specialist with another metabolic debrief. Super excited and pumped up to be here, guys, because today we're going to talk about something everybody hates. Monday weigh-in. Yes, everybody hates weighing in on Monday because they're heavier on Monday, right? This thing, man, I tell you, this weigh scale is really frustrating for so many people. So that's why I say throw out the weigh scale and let's talk about something that's actually meaningful. But today, on our Metabolic Debrief, we're going to talk about why you're heavier on the weigh scale on Monday. And it's not necessarily actually losing body fat. Now, before I jump into that, guys, just make sure that you're with me every afternoon, because every afternoon, I actually talk about how to improve your metabolism so fat loss becomes efficient. Fat loss becomes easy and not forced, right? Like, there's so many people that restrict calories or go on keto or, do intermittent fasting and have a really challenging time losing body fat. It's because the body is protective. And once the body is protective, then it's hard to lose body fat. So anyway, if that's something that you guys are interested in, make sure to join me Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time so that we can actually understand how to lose body fat properly. So let's talk about the weigh scale, guys, because it's inevitable. Every Monday, we jump on that scale and we say, okay, where's my weight today? How much weight did I gain or lose over the weekend? And a lot of times when you jump on that scale, guess what happens? You're disappointed. You're frustrated. You're like, I can't believe I gained 3 pounds over the weekend. What the heck? Right? And then you're like, you beat yourself up and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go on a diet, restrict. I'm going to skip my meals today. I'm going to, exercise really hard. I'm going to push my body. And it really, when that happens, your body actually becomes really protective, like I just explained. Because what we're really dealing with, let's say, for example, on Friday or Saturday, you go to a restaurant. You have different meals. Maybe you drink some alcohol. Maybe you're not sleeping as well over the weekend, right? Maybe you consume some foods that have way more sodium. Maybe you have more carbs than usual. Maybe you have a very high carb meal on Sunday, right? All of these things affect weight. Now, weight is a number on the scale, but it doesn't necessarily mean you gained fat. That's the difference, right? So you can't gain like 3 or 4 pounds over the weekend of pure fat. You can't. It's just physiologically impossible. Listen, if you were to gain like 5 pounds over the weekend, you would have to eat a lot of food because let's face it, 1 pound is like 3,500 plus extra calories on top of what your body needs. So you'd have to eat a lot of calories. You'd have to drive that caloric intake up enormously. And so obviously you're not doing that, but we have to really focus on what this number actually means. So when you step on the scale and it says 3 pounds up from Friday, what does that actually mean? Well, first off, if you're eating, for example, higher amounts of carbohydrates, that gets stored as glycogen. Glycogen is essentially stored energy in the muscles and the liver, right? So that is the number one thing that usually happens is you're having higher carb meals, or if you're, participating in, eating foods that are like, say, higher in sodium, right? That obviously pulls water into the muscles and, kind of gets more water retention going, especially if you cut down on your water. So like, for example, maybe you don't drink a lot of water on the weekend and then you eat more salty foods. That does increase inflammation, increases your body's ability to pull water into the muscle cells. And so you're going to be gaining water weight, right? So it's not fat, right? Glycogen is your stored energy in your muscles, and therefore that's not fat either, right? So we have to realize that that number on the scale is very deceptive. We can't trust it. We can't trust that scale, right? We can't actually be like on Monday and jump on the scale and be like, oh my God, I'm up 3 pounds, and then beat yourself up and then try to push the body to the point where it gets more protective, right? And then fat loss becomes even harder, right? So what do we do instead? That's the magic question, right? So when we jump on that scale on Monday and it's 3 pounds up, what do we do? Right? Because it's Monday right now. Let's face it. We got, people watching here on Monday and it's like, yeah, Trevor, I was up on 3 to 4 pounds. So I'm not sure what to do. Well, and that's the thing. We have to go back to normal routine, right? You have to remember that your metabolism loves normal. It doesn't like restrictive. It doesn't like punishment, right? Your metabolism doesn't respond well to punishment. It doesn't. It actually rebels. It's like a teenager, right? Like when you tell a teenager to like come home at like 9 p.m., your teenager, if you have kids at home, says, no way, I'm not going to come home at 9 p.m. Are you kidding? And then that teenager is going to rebel and stay out till like 2 or 3 in the morning. Well, it's the same thing for your metabolism, right? Your metabolism is going to rebel. And if you try to restrict calories, push yourself too much in the gym, you will actually push your body into a rebellion mode or a protective mode. And then fat loss becomes more forced and not sustainable. And so what we got to focus on is getting back into your routine. Now, in the metabolic operating system, what our routine looks like is 4 meals a day, spaced 4 hours apart. Now, those meals are very particularly structured, which is higher protein and higher fat and moderate to low carbs. That allows the body to get the correct amount of fuel in its system, in the cells, every 4 hours. So your metabolism becomes efficient, right? It's just like feeding the car gasoline, right? You want to make sure that you're getting gasoline into your car so that efficient combustion engine works properly. Same thing with the body. It's the same sort of principle, right? For every 4 hours, we want to eat foods that actually push the metabolism to a higher level, not actually put it in a restrictive mode. So that's what we do in our metabolic operating system. Really simply is we start just structuring our bodies better, our routines better. And that way your metabolism responds more efficiently. And you're going to lose, like if you step on the scale for Wednesday or Thursday, you'll lose that water weight, you'll lose the extra glycogen retention, and you'll notice you'll be back down, 3 or 4 pounds, right? So we have to remember that this is all physiological. All right, this is not about gaining fat, because you can't gain fat over the weekend unless you're really pushing your body to a high caloric intake level and like really increasing processed foods and those types of things. Very tough to do. But anyway, so my challenge to you guys is, first off, it's Monday. If you're dealing with like this weight gain, like I'm not going to call it fat gain, but it's just weight gain, what I want you to do is really simple, very easy. Get back into the routine. Just go into the routine. Don't do anything extreme. Don't beat yourself up and don't do anything extreme, because that's going to cause the body to rebel. And once we get our body into a really good rhythm of eating and hydration and proper sleep and proper recovery, you'll notice that weight on the scale goes back down, right? It's just normal physiology. So that's what I want you guys to focus on this week. Normal routine if you've gained weight on the scale, okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. That's super easy. Make sure you're eating properly, hydrating properly. Meal timings are really good, every 4 hours. Make sure you go back on your sleep rhythm so that you're sleeping properly throughout the week. Super simple. And you don't have to do any crazy exercise. Walking is great. You can go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. You don't have to go crazy though. You don't have to go like balls to the wall crazy in the gym. Like just movement to help with your metabolism. That really is the key. Movement for the metabolism, not movement for, just basically creating a unstable environment, right? We want to make sure that it's movement for effective metabolism. All right, so the other thing, guys, I want to talk about is our 15-day metabolic reset. This is really important because this is actually 15 days where you can actually improve your metabolic response so fat loss becomes more efficient. And that really is the key. If you're wanting to lose body fat for life, it's not about restriction and it's not about actually going to the gym 6 days a week. It's actually about creating more of an efficient metabolism so fat loss becomes just a natural outcome and not forced, right? Because you remember, if we're on a diet or if you're going on, like, say, even weight loss drugs or those types of things, medications, those are all things that create basically a protective metabolism, right? So basically, you want to actually do the opposite. You want to create a metabolism that is more efficient at fat burning. That's the key, okay? So our 15-day metabolic reset allows you to do that. And it's completely free. All you need to do is click the link underneath this video and it's super simple to register. Once you register, you'll have access to 15 days and even my one-on-one coaching. So you get coaching from me one-on-one, super fun, super easy, and you get to learn how your metabolism works and lose body fat in the process. All right, so remember, Monday, you're not gaining fat over the weekend. You just gained a little bit of water, inflammation, maybe some water retention, and stored energy in the muscles and the liver. Okay, so anyway, hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If you guys have any questions about your metabolism or how to actually lose body fat correctly, just put them in the comment section underneath this video and I'll answer them in my next Metabolic Debrief. All right, so remember, Metabolic Debrief, we're online Monday through Friday between 1 and 2 p.m. or 2 p.m. every single day so we can help you improve your metabolism and rebuild that metabolism. All right, we'll see you guys in that next Metabolic Debrief. Have a wonderful day and we'll chat with you guys soon. Bye for now.